Hi, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Conversations with Calvin, We the Species, and I'm with a fellow journalist this evening with Claretta Bellamy. And the lesson for all those young people, students, young people out there is Claretta and I met fairly recently on LinkedIn, that wonderful place where you can explore the world and meet. And sure enough, a few weeks later, here we are. And I'm thrilled to do this, Claretta, because you're a real journalist. I don't call myself a real journalist, but so say hello, introduce yourself, just a quick little bio, and then we'll jump into some discussions.
Hi, Calvin. Thank you so much for having me. So I graduated from Rutgers, Newark last year with a bachelor's degree in journalism and media studies with a minor in video production.
Perfect. So, as a fellow journalist, when did you discover you had a passion for storytelling?
I discovered I had a passion for storytelling very, very young. Usually when I was taking like an English class and we had to do creative writing, I just fell in love with storytelling. But it wasn't until I went to Rutgers, Newark, my junior year, where I realized that I fell in love with journalism.
I know it's early in your career, but what are some of your proudest accomplishments?
One of my proudest accomplishments took place May of 2019. My professor, Professor Fisher, she's the head of the journalism department at Rutgers. She actually took me outside of the classroom and she wanted to tell me something and I wasn't sure what it was. And she said that she wanted to grant me the Journalism Excellence Award. She's told me that I was the recipient.
Wow.
And I was just really shocked. And because she said usually they only select one student who's a graduating senior. And we had a large class of graduating seniors. And it was just a really proud moment, especially considering all that I've been through that year. And it just really was a proud moment for me. So she ended up telling me I got the award. And a few weeks later, I was able to attend an award ceremony to accept the award.
That's wonderful.
And also another great accomplishment of mine is that after I finished my PBK internship, I was able to give a statement and a picture to my manager. And they actually put my picture and the statement on the back of the issue of the Key Reporter. So this actually came into the mail.
Now we got to tell everybody that's Phi Beta Kappa, correct?
Yes, the Phi Beta Kappa Honor Society. I was a writing intern and they put my picture and a quote that I said about why I like to be a journalist, and that went out to all the PBK alumni.
That's fabulous. And so these are, by the way, these are great accomplishments in such a short period of time. So that bespeaks, and that's a wonderful predictor of some really great things you're going to be doing. I mean, that's fabulous.
Thank you.
Truly. What are some of the what are some interesting, important life lessons that you've learned, wrapping this into a journalistic comment?
Well, one of the biggest life lessons I've learned is that things never go as planned. Sometimes we plan our lives from A to Z and think things are going to happen a certain way, and it doesn't. But I found out that's perfectly okay. And a lot of the things that weren't planned were actually opportunities. So when I started working for Rutgers Office of Communications, that opportunity came when I least expected it.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the opportunities I have now came when I least expected it. So things don't often go the way the way we have them planned, but that doesn't mean you're on the wrong track. It just means that you have to keep pushing forward and things will fall into place.
Well, I'm going to pay you and don't take this the wrong way, a wonderful compliment, because I'm sitting here listening to you and your maturity level. I feel like I'm talking to somebody 60 years old. So don't take that the wrong way. It's a compliment.
I hear that a lot.
It's experience and wisdom and maturity that's coming through. It's like, wow. And I love doing this because I get the chance to meet you and learn from you. Let's. I know you have a YouTube channel, and I think that's wonderful because I have one too. We're doing it. Can you talk about your YouTube channel?
Sure. So I have a YouTube channel that I actually started during the pandemic, and I talk about different important news topics that are relevant. So in one video, I interviewed a person who tested positive for COVID-19 and
Wow.
actually had underlying health conditions. I interviewed an emergency room nurse, and most recently, I produced a video this past week about domestic violence that I published on my channel because October was National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I love to do videos like that in my spare time, and my channel is my actual name, just Claretta Bellamy.
That's your channel that people can find on YouTube, Claretta Bellamy, YouTube.
Yes.
Well, that's great. By the way, the domestic violence thing, I'm doing a story on that also because it's epidemic.
Mhm.
So you're so in tuned. You really are. You're so grounded. I'm actually learning from you, just kind of listening. So let's go a little bit off topic because I like to do that. Um, Lighten it a little bit. So here's the scenario. Off topic. Calvin question: living or dead? Excluding friends and family, living or dead, who somebody you'd like to spend a day with during the pandemic period.
I think I would like to spend a day with Oprah Winfrey.
Great.
Growing up, I used to watch her show a lot, and she started out as a journalist and went into TV. So I would have a lot of questions for her and just want to learn about her life journey into achieving success.
Great, great answer. Um, you're young. You're a young, dynamic journalist. How do you think journalism can change the world?
I think good journalism can change the world because it will gain people's trust and allow them to share more of their stories. And I think it's so important for people to share their stories because if a lot of the times people don't realize what another person experienced. And this is in terms of like human interest stories. There's just so many things that people go through. And that's why I love journalism because sometimes I, read articles and write articles and, share stories about people. And who knows, another person might read an article and actually get inspired by
Hmm.
just reading that person's story. So I think it's really important, and good journalism can make all the difference.
Correct. As we learn every day these days, how important it is. Claretta, do you have, I mean, again, early on to ask you this, but do you have like future aspirations, things you'd like to do? Um,
Yes, I would love to be a full-time like multimedia journalist, going around and just, telling people stories. I also feel like I have a good on-camera presence, so I wouldn't mind being an on-air journalist, kind of like how Diane Sawyer
right.
is in like, 2020 and those type of television shows. I love just interviewing people and talking with them and just learning so much. And I also was thinking about starting a nonprofit organization.
That's great. You keep me posted on that because that's it's, these are wonderful aspirations. By the way, I'm so thrilled I met you. Of course, we're running out of time, and the other thing I said to you off air, I'm saying it again because you're so dynamic and energetic and idealistic, and it's so refreshing for me to see those things. That of course, I'm going to invite you back. We talked about doing maybe some things together, journalistic things. I'll always be here for you because we're Rutgers. So we've kind of run out of time. This has been great. I'll be able to share your energy and your passion, and I thank you so much for giving me this time. And I'm inviting you back, and I thank you, Coretta.
Thank you, Calvin, for having me.
Thank
Stay
you.
safe.
Perfect.